what a raucous, what a wild applause that we got here. We are Super Happy Fun Time Burlesque from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're really excited to be here. It's been a while. We haven't been down to St. Joe in a long time, and I feel like I need to put a little context in the evening before we get started about what brought us here and why we're here. Basically, I don't know if you know Lance, the booking agent here, the guy who books for Mickey's. Lance wouldn't get off my ass about getting this show down here, and we're busy. We're a nationally touring show, and we usually don't play shitholes like this place. We play much nicer, larger rooms for erudite, classy audiences that show up in top hats and bow ties, and have cigarettes on the end of those long holder things. Oh, here he comes now. He's like, oh, he can't run up to the stage with those crutches and punch me out. He's hobbling up here. I heard my name. So Lance has been bugging our ass to come down and play your shithole town, and we don't. And we're busy. I mean, it's hard with a show this size to get. We only have so many dates of the year we can play. We play all over the country. It's hard to make it line up, but he wouldn't let up, like the asshole that he is. So I said, okay, well, we're playing in Holland and Kalamazoo this weekend. Holland, ladies and gentlemen, Holland, conservative, backwards town of Holland, Michigan. I'm like, we're playing this weekend, and these dudes in the band live in Chicago. It's on the way down, so we'll play Mickey's on a Sunday night. Let's bring out a little crowd. We'll have some fun. Who gives a shit? Who cares? It'll just be a one-off thing. We'll fuck around. No one will care. No one will notice. We'll just play a little show. And key word, that was we booked this 11 days in advance. So I was like, no one's gonna notice. No one's gonna come. No one's gonna care. We have 11 days to promote this thing. It's a small little town. It's gonna be hard to get the word out. Nothing's gonna happen. Well, hell, maybe we'll even cancel at the last minute if the Facebook event page says only one person. I'm getting to it. This is my moment, ma'am. This is my moment. I know, we'll get to the live sex soon. I can tell that's the kind of shit you're into. So, with caged animals. She looks like she likes Pomeranians. Those tight little sphincters. So we do the thing, and then Lance sends me this email. He's like, hey Corey, what's this all about? And it's an email from the city of St. Joe telling us not to do the show. And I'm like, and again, I'm still too tired. I still don't care. I'm like, just tell them we won't get naked. That'll shut them up. We've dealt with this before. Tell them we won't take our clothes off, and then they won't bug us anymore. Because still, who gives a crap? It doesn't matter. And then he does that, and we ignore it for a couple days, and then he comes back. He's like, well, here's what they said now. And it's like this long email of if you do this, and this, you will be charged with a misdemeanor crime. For performing.
Sounds like St. Joe.
On stage, we'll be charged with a misdemeanor. Is anyone from the court here right now to observe and make sure?
You have to be honest.
Fuck you.
Oh, okay. That's why she's in a bad mood already. That's why. I knew it. Oh, see, those are the worst kind of lawyers. The moral ones. Protecting our spiritual hygiene. So we got a lot of attention from some people who are probably worse sexual deviants than we are, who said that we can't do this show and the content is disgusting and blah blah blah, and they set all these guidelines for us, which we're gonna break all those guidelines. So in the first 30 seconds, just trying to scare Lance. But I want to tell one story because we've been around for 12 years. Like I've been doing this bullshit show for 12 years, And the reason why we keep doing it is because of instances like tonight. Like every time that we're tired of doing it and like want to give up, someone steps up and is like, you can't do that. And like, wow, I'm inspired to do this show now. Because this complete stranger told me I'm a pervert, you know, who I don't know. And I researched the city attorney who's angry at us, and like it's a real estate lawyer, you know, who's like, you can't do this show because I know how much you need to sell lakefront property for to wealthy Chicagoans. So I know about strip club zoning laws. So I just want to tell the story, if you can deal with it. I'm just going to tell the story of the first time the cops came up and tried to shut us down. We're from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Let me set the scene. We're from GR, Michigan. Now, I know I've already made fun of your town, but there is no worse shithole than Grand Rapids, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen. There is no more backwards, fucked up, strange, surreal, bizarro land than Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so this is like 10 years ago. We're the first burlesque show in not only in GR, but like in West Michigan. There's no burlesque anywhere. There's no nothing. And we're playing a monthly show at a place called the Sazerac Lounge. It's now called the Reservoir. And we're doing this monthly show, and it's a piece of shit. It's a terrible show. None of us know what we're doing. The music's terrible. The acts are terrible. The women are ugly. You know, it's just a bad show. And we're probably like 6 or 7 shows in, and it's finally starting to click. Like we have a good closing number. You know, really cool song. Cool number, we get through it without fucking up, and we hit that last note, the last beat of the last note of the last song, you know, which is supposed to be the euphoric applause, the standing ovation, all this, you know, happens, but right as people start to clap, flashing lights. And through every doorway in the building, an 18-member armed unit of the Grand Rapids Vice Squad descends, I'm not joking, descends upon the venue. Cop cars parked akimbo. The street has been roped off with police tape. There's cars up on the sidewalk, cars in the middle of the street. People are blocking the entrances. Like in 30 seconds flat, they're going through the basement, they're going through the dressing room, they're going through the restrooms, they're behind the bar, they're like pulling people aside and interviewing them, like, what happened? What did you just see tonight? What happened? You know, this has happened in a split second. And I run the show, so the head gorilla, like this man who is the product of a tank and a woman having a baby, this giant dude who has guns for hands and bullets for fingers, like this dude, this beast, pulls me aside and he starts asking me what's going on and interviewing me about the show. And you know, there's that just that shock of everything, the lights and the shakedown and people yelling and the commotion. And as he's asking me questions, the gears are turning in my head. I'm not making any of this up. The gears are turning in my head, and I start to realize, I decipher from the questions he's asking me, he and all of the Grand Rapids Police Department and whoever else they talk to, the attorneys, the managers, they think that a burlesque show is a live sex show with caged animals. Those were I am not making this up. This is what he said to me. And so then, you know, what happens from that is a year of us playing in Grand Rapids of undercover cops coming to all our shows. And we know the undercover cops came because there's 2 of them, and everyone knows them. It's the 2 police officers that have beards. You know, like everyone else is clean shaven. It's the guys who wear flannel and have beards. You know, like coming to the shows, and the mayor and the city attorney and everyone having long meetings about our breasts. Just as Lance had a meeting about our breasts with your city attorney and your city manager and the Liquor Control Commission. You know, meetings about our breasts and all this stuff going down, and threats of we're going to shut down the venue and you're going to be charged and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And you know what happened? You know what happened? Jack shit happened. Jack fucking shit happened. Because this is the 20th fucking century. And indecency laws were outlawed in the goddamn fucking 1950s. And they got jack shit on us. And the people the people in power, the monkeys with brains that think they have the power, they have nothing. nothing. So basically what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, is some people in your public office think that we're a strip show and a sex show and maybe a sex show with caged animals. We don't know because we don't live inside their heads. And they are extremely threatened by what we are doing. And they don't want us to perform this show. But as of yet, they have not shown up to witness, or are they here? And Lance looks a little scared. Okay, well we're filming the show just so everything is said. But I think the right thing, when you don't, everyone I've talked to about this has had the reasonable answer. They said, well, if you don't like it, just don't go. And when this all, I'm just going to read a Facebook comment where I thought the funniest thing is when Lance put this thing up online. The first comment on the poster, this lady wrote, the last part of that show was 100% blasphemic. No way. I walked off, I left the show when they were hanging a woman from a cross while playing the song Jesus Christ Superstar. It's 100% blasphemic and 95% naked women that whole disastrous mess. Glad that's on your hands and not mine. Never again, as I stated, I stand alone. My last comment regarding that horrific show. So she felt the need to pipe up. And then the first comment after that, a guy said, all right, now I'm definitely going. And that's the whole fucking thing, is that these people who didn't fucking like it just shut up. No one would have paid attention to us in the first place, and we would have been playing for 5 people because it's a goddamn Sunday night and it's cold out, and no one would have came. But they gave us this attention. So we got 3 stipulations. We can't show boobs, we can't touch audience members, and we can't have simulated sex on stage. So first I want to show you our walk around for the boobs. Ladies, if you'll come up here, we have our walk around for the boobs. So what we've done, back Dorothy, what we've done is we're covering up their breasts with photos of their breasts. These are actual photos of their boobs that we have covered their boobs with. Does anyone feel threatened or like they want to commit a crime or a rape or a murder or no? Okay, because from the way your city ordinance states it, it sounds like boobs are the most horrible thing, and they're worse than like rifles and AK-47s. Okay, well, thank you. So nextly, simulated sex. Really, that whole thing really confused me because anything can be simulated sex. You know what I mean? Like if I do this, everyone knows what that means. Or if I do this,
sexist.
How about I do this?
Yeah. Sexist.
Right? You all know what this means, right? Okay, like we just committed a misdemeanor offense just now. So I think we already committed a couple. But we're going to try and make the simulated sex as literal as possible so no one gets a boner, because then I think we're safe. So, Berlion, let's simulate some sex right now. Let's simulate the sex.
Not again. Slower.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Simulated sex, ladies and gentlemen. That is, by definition, simulated sex. Thank you, ladies, thank you. We just simulate, so that's how the laws confuse me, because we just simulated sex right there. We just broke the law, but I feel like if you took that to a judge, he'd probably throw your ass out of court, right? Or like, I don't know, like it all confuses me. And then lastly, no touching of audience members.
Oh. Can we touch each other?
Yeah, I don't. Does anyone want a dry hump right now? Yeah, so, and I actually like that because I'm terrified of you people. I don't know where you've been, so now I don't have to shake your hand after the show. Okay, I think I've said, let me check my notes on my phone. I think I've said everything I want to say. I mean, I've said everything I want to say. I still will jack off on your faces at the end of the night. did write down the audience. It's all really weird. But and then the end of chapter 38 ordinance that they sent us, it says we're breaking the laws. My favorite part was at the end. It says that no member of city government can be prosecuted for attending a sex show. Seriously, it says that. It says everyone in city government is allowed to go to any of these shows that are illegal and to not have it held against them. So, I think you guys might want to just, I don't know, take your own local officials to town on some of that stuff. I don't know. Shall we do some of our last? Okay, 1 second here. I couldn't hear. I just heard random drunk ramblings. So we're gonna do a random assortment of things because we're not a strip show and a sex show. We're a goddamn professional theater troupe with boatloads of material in our back pockets. So we've crafted a special show for you that does not have the more well, it's so funny because they didn't want boobs, so we cut out a lot of the boobs and put in the really offensive shit instead. like this show is actually just really dark and depressing. It's all our acts about the world ending and all this blah blah blah. But at least as some little retort, this first piece we're gonna do is the piece that we got a grant money from the Frey Foundation to produce and take on a national tour last year. So yeah, I don't know if that doesn't validate us enough to your city officials, but this was paid for by Art Prize and the Frey Foundation, and we took it on tour last year for 40 days around the country. Are you ready back there?